to the next game. This game is called Sultans Game. Dear card player, in order to avoid the dangers of magic, we have mixed this work with symbols and arts from different cultures and used pseudonyms and metaphors to seal the story in a timeline far from the real world. And we hope for your understanding. Thanks for your interest in Sultans games. Please note that because the game is still in development, the demo version may contain some events that are difficult to complete, stories that are too simple in text, and unfinished translations. Yeah, obviously, that's fine for me. So, Sultans Game, very automatic music. Yeah, the vibe is already quite good. And actually, that's the things I know was like, I liked just the trailer. It looked like, yeah, you make cruel decisions, and card games always interest me when it's about computer games. So, yeah, let's just try what we have, even though the music is really good. I think I want to lower it a little bit. 1001 Night Fate Shop. This is hopefully just some stuff we can buy from in-game progress. So this is for sure then a roguelite game. When we can get new cards. Chosen owner. The status is even higher than yours. As the cherished pet of the Sultan, each generation of Lady Becky is free to choose her owner. Okay, so there is some in-game progression. Okay, and the in-game progression we get by completing achievements. There are a few. Have a cat lady attend the court 1000 times. Okay. Into Darkness. Perform 30 living sacrifices cumulatively. Yes, so I said, hard decision, cool decisions. By the way, I need to remember to switch. Switch the category. So we're now in Sultans Game. Yeah, there are some Into Darkness and Into the Darkness. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they said the translation is not finished yet. You go in, arrest criminals, so we can probably be good. The lesser evil. Honestly, I got no idea what's about to happen. How do we get out here? Just dive right in and see what's happening. Long, long ago, in a distant land, there was a mighty sultan. 8 years ago, this sultan ascended to the throne over his father's corpse and inherited this vast empire. His was a cruel and cunning ruler, ruthless to enemies and kin alike, and had an innate thirst for the misfortune of others. He made his subjects fear him, which made his rule unshakable. Wealth, status, slaves, he had whatever he desired. People bent their backs before him. The flowers in the winter garden bloomed overnight at his command. Okay, so like these cards talk to us. My love, my eagle. Seductive consort. Aged consort. Female slave. General. Boring. Okay. Day after day, the great sultan had exhausted all earthly pleasures all the things that past sultans and kings had enjoyed. Ultimately, he got tired of it. To have everything but no joy was truly vexing. What fun shall I have today? Is there nothing new to please me? Your Majesty, someone outside pleads for an audience to present you a game. Bring them in. All I can think of right now also is the end of day button, especially with these two. It reminds me somehow right now of Civilization. But yeah, guess that's not the game. The stranger said she was a magician from a faraway land. She wanted to offer the Sultan a game that had fascinated many kings and monarchs of other lands. The core of the game is to experience your power in a more exciting and interesting manner, she said. I have a box of cards, each representing a pleasure only a Sultan can enjoy. Bring it up. Every time you draw, you will get a random card. In other lands, they are called Sultan cards. You need to complete the tasks marked on the cards. The first to exhaust all the cards in the box will become the true champion, the Sultan of Sultans. There are 4 types of tasks in total. If you allow me, I would like to explain them one by one. She respectfully raises the wooden box. Please click the card box to draw your first card, Supreme Sultan. I like the art here too. Yeah, I agree there, Panda. This looks really great, but I already love just the colors of these I don't know, people cards. Don't know how to call them. This gives so far a good vibe. A silver carnality card. Note, the card includes 2 elements. Carnality refers to physical pleasure, and silver refers to its background color, its tire. That is, the tire of a pleasure object. Although all creatures are as significant as ants before you, some are slightly nobler than others, and you, Great Sultan, have a right to determine the tires. I'm always happy to explain the Sultan's game to you, but of course, as a supreme, infinitely wise, sun-like esteemed Sultan, even without my explanations, you will surely master the game quickly. Okay, this sounds like I can get some information here. I can answer all your questions, but seeing is believing. You will love this game once you play it. Explain the rules. The Sultan's game is exclusively for rulers. Monarchs compete. Okay, I will skip there a little bit. I think this is just no tutorial. So, price of a game. The ruler owns everything. This game doesn't require any price, nor does it restrict your ways. Okay, that's not really a tutorial in telling me how to play the game, but just more like flavor. Okay, this is more like explanation. The Sultan's game has 4 kinds of cards, each with 4 tires. They represent challenges you must complete after drawing them. Magic ensures that you absolutely cannot cheat. Tires. Okay, gold, silver, bronze, and stone. Gold, silver, stone. Is this bronze then? I think bronze was often green, right? Tax collector, warrior, above a slave. The guard, scribe, yeah, silver. Yeah, think makes sense. Okay. So we can have these different tires. And to use items or other characters, or to resolve the Sultan card, I need corresponding cards of a white tire. To make the game not seem unreasonable, you can use higher tire cards to fulfill the requirement. Okay, I can fulfill a bronze bloodshed card by killing a silver person. So it's always just like lower requirement, but it can go higher. Okay, types of Sultan cards. Carnality, bloodshed, conquest, extravagance. Man with woman, man with man, or any other combination can fulfill the carnality card. Very simple, isn't it? Just use your creativity. Note that the same person cannot be repeatedly used to resolve carnality cards, unless you upgrade their tire or invent other special methods. Okay, bloodshed, killing a human of appropriate tire, well, maybe some other intelligent beings can satisfy the bloodshed card. This is the simplest, least restrictive way to play. Okay. So carnality is like we have to pair characters, bloodshed would be we kill a character, conquest. Military victories or some difficult adventures can be considered successful conquests. Okay, we will see about this. Maybe these are then special things, maybe we need then certain cards or so. Extravagance Sultan cards often require spending money to resolve them. You can try expanding or decorating your home, shopping for luxurious items, or wining and dining women. This is a game for people who know how to live large. Okay, so there will be some sort of money in the game. A smile carries a hint of danger, but also adds a different kind of allure. And it's just like continuing what this is. Was there before I want you? Okay, she's not part of the game. Go to talk to you. Yeah, I think this was the tutorial. Okay, the Sultan drew a card of silver carnality, meaning he must engage carnally with someone of silver tire. Okay, you don't have to pair to silver, it's like the Sultan has to, okay. Or he could choose to whip, molest or torture them, as long as it brings physical pleasure to him. Once his desire was fulfilled, so did the requirement of a carnality card. That's really dark. Okay. Whatsoever. So we always have like a story here. I feel like this game is not free for all ages. Maybe yeah. It's the way to it will be fine. It's such a small game, probably hopefully no one knows about. I mean, Panda, I know you're old enough. The Sultan revealed the silver card. Until this moment, the courtiers thought it was a joke. They all wore cautious smiles and tried not to spoil his mood or fall victim to the game. The Sultan, however, scanned their face with amusement. He was the great Sultan who could laugh off everything in the world, except for the game. The game was something he took seriously. Place the Sultan, the carnality card, and the target of carnality into corresponding slots to start the event. So we need the Sultan, we need the carnality card, and we need a silver or a gold card. So gained virtual. Ah, okay. Oh, and they have attributes. One moment. So each of these cards have their own traits. So like, the guard obviously have more physique. He's a distant relative of a royal family, but what really propelled him to such a high position was the wealth he invested in the early years in the Sultan. Now with the Sultan implicit consent, he has already recouped that investment 1,000-fold, 10,000-fold. Okay, so he's used for wisdom. This was more for like charisma. Okay, they even have tax. Female noble owned. Okay, owned means this card belongs to my hand. Noble. Maybe. Even the warrior is noble. And he has really no stats at all. Wait. So she doesn't have sociability. Because we don't. No, everyone has different. Okay, so he has combat. So each of one has the first three, probably. Well, Panda, we have talked a little bit already. Okay. So tire weapon accessory. So we can give them also these things. Or how can I understand these? Well, we end the day. The Sultan revealed the silver card. Until this moment, the courtiers thought it was a joke. Okay, we had this dialogue before. The Sultan chose the seductive consort as a target of carnality. The woman was overwhelmed by the sudden favor in the public. She ignored one important fact. The Sultan only wanted to see women fight for him, but he did not like being treated as a woman's trophy himself. The woman proudly walked towards the Sultan, pressing her voluptuous body against him, letting her silky hair bobbing against his skin. During their lovemaking, she flaunted herself to the other consorts, particularly enjoying the jealous green face of the aged one. She even left scratch marks on the noble Sultan with her long nails. Finally, her actions bored the Sultan. In the next moment, the woman lying on the golden throne had her throat grasped. She panicked, like a sheep that wasn't submissive enough, but struggled in vain. Finally, she quieted down. In her lifeless eyes, the silhouettes of the courtiers started fading, blurring. The court session was over, or perhaps because her life was drawing away. So, the first card made the Sultan very satisfied. This was truly a game made for him. He started to draw a second card. Bloodshed. A bloodshed, a fine diversion for a ruler. You must have experienced much blood and agony, but the beauty of this game is that you never know what kind of game you will enjoy next, thus making each game more interesting. So this game is really about like being a bad tyrant ruler, morally completely out of line. And probably the strategy is then to think about which character to keep. Well, Ah, they were still talking and... Yeah, I mean, honestly, no idea which of these three would be wisest. I mean, I have two more warriors. He's family. So maybe just go with the general. He says he's loyal. What's this? Opinions from the simple people. General or we shall? I mean, I feel like the shell scribe text collector is also the same. Like the consort is already gone, so choose one of the other two. First one, so the general. Okay. I see, this game certainly makes pastime more thrilling. The Sultan seemed in high spirit. Very intriguing. Silence fell over the lapis lazuli palace. People held their breath, the fear had clutched their hearts. The expensive silk robes were drenched in cold sweat. The Sultan toyed with a card in his fingers. Who would he choose? The Sultan chose the general as a target of bloodshed. He was the Sultan's most loyal comrade. They used to at each other's backs on the battlefield. Since when did he diminish himself into a foolish coward, clapping his hands for Sultan's every decision? Going back 20 years, he would draw his sword and cut down the magician that had swayed the monarch. But now he was lying on the ground like a broken sack, waiting for soldiers to drag him into the death row cell. Going back 20 years, more than half of the soldiers would defend him with their lives, even from the great Sultan. But now he was dragged away like some livestock by his own men. The courtiers quickly made way for their fallen colleague. So far, I wonder a little bit like, what's the point of the game? Like, is there really the strategy, or is it just like storytelling by playing the cards and being this immoral leader, playing his game? I'm not sure where it goes, but let's keep it going a bit. The blood-stained carpet and drapes were replaced overnight. Today the Sultan appears in court once again, radiant. So Panda, what is your first impression from just the cards? I guess we now have the extravagance card, and then the conquest card comes fourth. A stone extravagance card. It will only cost a tiny portion of the Sultan's wealth. This game isn't only about bad things happening to you, the Sultan laughed. See, now I have to reward you with something. The courtiers forced a few chuckles from their throats. And you got a few gold coins. Nameless beggar. For the Sultan, completing the stone extravagance card would be effortless, but he would not want to ruin his rare entertainment by simply giving a few gold coins away to his guards. The courtiers went to great lengths to find a beggar. They must not be too dirty, that would please the Sultan, nor could they look too clean and neat to be real. Now, the Sultan was going to reward his beggar in person. To the Sultan, it was a trivial gift, but for the beggar, it was a turning point in his life. So, we could now either give the beggar gold coins, 5, or we could also like give him a slave. So it's a strategy a little bit like we have to just maintain that we have a card to fill this up, because it sounded like before like, yeah, we should also reach certain objectives, right? So possibly, for example, I think there was this cat, lady or cat, I don't know which of these two it was. So if we get this, and it would be like an achievement to keep the cat just till the end. And probably we lose the game when we can't give a fitting sacrifice. Is this all? How do these stats come into play? Okay, we just go with slave. Let's just see how this goes. The beggar accepted the Sultan's gift. However, he did not take the slave's collar chain. He asked the Sultan to free the slave girl and allow them to marry. The Sultan found the idea amusing, and the courtiers, in order to please the Sultan, gave many wedding gifts to the couple on the spot. It is said that the couple made full use of his wife's knowledge of the palace, started running a small store for a benevolent noble lady, and lived prosperous life after. Okay. The thrilling drama of yesterday seemed to still linger in the palace. The courtiers all looked depressed and weary. They stared at the magician who was standing by the throne, with a wooden box filled with cards in her hand. The Conquest, and in bronze. This time, Sultan drew a bronze Conquest card. Conquest meant taking what belonged to others, and bronze tire corresponded to the size of a small town. Fortunately, there were enough targets on Sultan's map to choose from. Sultan took his royal sword and decided to give it to the subject who is willing to conquer the place for him. Okay, so is it like we... Is the map also corresponded so that we move around here? So we have our army. We need a leader for the army. And we need a bronze conquest card, yes. Place a tactic intelligence to boost attributes. Yeah, I mean, we just have one tactics card. And obviously we can just choose between the warrior and the royal guard. There was a prosperous city near the Sultanate that had been trading treasures and spices with an Eastern empire for decades, if not centuries. They also made a lot of money, maybe too much money, from the Sultan. It was about time for them to pay the price. Once the target of the conquest was decided, the melancholy over the courts these games had imposed from the past days was all stripped away. The courtiers began to talk about the inevitable victory enthusiastically. There was only one question left: whom the Sultan would send to take the loot. Place the commanding officer and the conquest card into the corresponding slots to start the event. This event requires attribute check. Please focus on the character's combat and physical attributes. You can use equipment to strengthen the character who is sent off on an expedition. You can remove the equipment card from the back of a character illustration. Okay, so the warrior has 1 combat, this is 4 combat, 5 combat, 2, so 7, 11, I count 21, not 16, 10, 14, 19, 21, 17. This would just raise the combat. Can I keep the tactics card and just send it out like this? Okay, let's just try. Attribute check. 8, 3, 11. Glory to the Sultan. The Sultan's army beheaded the guardian of the city just a few months ago. Months? The Sultan had promised the city independence and autonomy. The guardian even gratefully kissed the Sultan's feet at the time. All told, the task of a bronze conquest card had been fulfilled. I have had enough fun in the last 2 days. The Sultan nodded to the magician. This is a nice game, I fully understand it now. Come on, let us continue to play. So, what are the thoughts after the tutorial? Personally, I don't know if I am intrigued or not. You're not alone, Pantera. I also don't understand it yet. I also don't understand what's... Yeah, the aesthetics is really cool. The theme is also something different. I really like the general vibe of the game. But in the end, the question is whether all of this is enough to keep one engaged to play the game, or if like these small little tasks will become repetitive, I fear. But yeah, I think I'll just continue and see how it goes. If there will be more decisions where you have to weigh in whom to keep, because right now I mean, one can't really know. But we have seen already that we can get some cards back. Maybe we wouldn't have had to send out the warrior. Maybe the army would have been enough. So it's a little bit, probably the vibe is just like the resource management in a different narrative style. Honestly, I have no game really comparable to this so far. After several rounds of practice, the great Sultan got the hang of the game. Later, he would draw several Sultan cards in one day and complete them in the most dramatic ways. It only took 14 days for him to run out all the Sultan cards, setting the fastest game record ever. As anticipated, every victory came at a cost. With each draw, someone would disappear from the palace, becoming part of the Sultan's game. Okay, so the game, no, not necessarily last 14 days. During these 14 days, the palace was filled with screams, cries, and insane moans. Finally, the cursed box was empty. The courtiers all sighed in relief. The Sultan's game was finally over. To their surprise, the magician put all the broken cards into a bag, shook it hard, and the cards were all mysteriously restored by her witchcraft. Great, we can play again. The Sultan was so happy that he clapped his hands. Give me the box, let me draw a card. Let's see what fun is waiting for me today. Now, this must be stopped. Someone has to dissuade the Sultan from playing this absurd game. You take a deep breath and step forward. Okay, so we are not actually playing as the Sultan or what? Are we like the... Okay, I think there's no real sense in making a guess now. I think I raise a heartfelt admonition. You pointed out that the magician's magic is dark and eldritch. A wise monarch should never be swayed by such unknown and evil figure. The colleagues around you were moving backwards, and the palace grew quieter. You spoke for a long time, but the Sultan didn't care at all, and sadly, neither did the magician. You stopped, exhausted, pondering if your life was about to end. But the Sultan suddenly turned his mocking gaze towards you. Really, he mused. A wise monarch shouldn't do this. But a wise monarch shouldn't abandon games that bring him joy, right? So, why don't you do it for me? You, my loyal subject, I command you, play the Sultan's game for me. He burst into laughter as he stood there, dumbfounded. Your story begins. How will you end the Sultan's game? Will you win by drawing all the cards like the Sultan himself? Or... Okay. It's time for Flauschi to play the game. You come from a noble family that has served the Sultans for generations. Please choose your family's origin. I have no idea what these things are about. Let's say I'm in a military family. Choose the personal ability you're most proud of. Military family would be strength, but I feel like we have to spread out a bit, so let's go for mind. Conservative, old-school nobles are keen to keep slaves to show their authority, while open-minded young nobles influenced by progressive ideas tend to form cliques outside the palace. Which type are you? Free slaves are probably like free stone-tired cards, right? And maybe the noble follower would give us a higher valued card. Let's just... No, we even got a bronze one. What do you love most about your wife, who has always accompanied you? Okay, we already choose wisdom for ourselves. We have the armor, giving us physique and combat. So, yeah, when it's not wisdom, not valor, we Take the beauty. For the Sultan, choosing a surrogate player was also part of his game. He ordered you to play in his stead and pardoned you for any crimes you may commit to complete the Sultan cards, be it murder, adultery, robbery, or even raising an army. Not because he particularly felt for you, he only did this in the hope that you can put up a more spectacular show in the game. Remember, you only have 7 days to complete the task of a Sultan card. Fail it, and he will cut off your head at the sunrise of the 8th day. Okay. So tutorial is over. Now it's our turn. We have a Bronze Extravagance card. Changes progress. Okay, there are 28 Sultan cards. Yeah, have a nice day, Panda. Hope you enjoyed so much strategy and card play. But yeah, I will have a look. Ciao, ciao. And so, continuing Sultans Game. So we have one probably from each. 28. There are 4 tires and 4 different card types. This would only be 16. Bronze Extravagance, Stone Conquest, Silver, Stone, Bloodshed. How are these 28? Stone, Bronze, Silver, Gold. Extravagance, Conquest, Carnality, Bloodshed. Wish this would be sorted, then I could figure it out a little bit easier. Stone Extravagance, Bronze Extravagance, Silver Extravagance. There's another Silver Extravagance, so it's not multiplied there. Okay, yeah, I think it's a demo, so that's fine. You drag your exhausted body away from the palace. The ministers silently watch you, some relieved that they weren't the ones to advise the Sultan, some secretly gloating, and others truly sympathetic. But none of this matters anymore. You have been drawn into the Sultan's game. The card in your hand burns like a hot coal, and you have 7 days to complete it. Then you will draw another card, fight another battle, and another, and another, and another. The carriage drives through the city towards your residence. The bustling marketplace, the steamy bathhouse, the bustling crowds. They all recede behind you. Before long, you've arrived home, where your wife, already informed of the news, stands at the door waiting for you. You hasten your steps to embrace her. For now, you are still alive and life must go on. Event news in the bathhouse, event managing via status appeared, event audience. Okay, news in the bathhouse. An excellent check can generate new rituals. So I have to fulfill now with these cards. Managing the estates. People are still willing to come under your roof and share words, promises and opportunities. This is done automatically every turn. The higher the resulting value, the greater the gold coin income. You can use extravagance cards like via I am thinking to decorate the house to increase your income. If you get a card with a location tag, you can try to put it in. So I have to do this turn, if I understand it correctly. Bookstore business. The Angler isn't the largest bookstore in town, but it's certainly the most refined and oldest one. If you're willing, you can surely find some good books here. You can visit the bookstore without spending money, but you can't buy any books. Most books can be read in the I am thinking section, increasing character attributes. Spend 1 gold to randomly get a book. Okay. And I just lose characters if I fulfill the extravagance card, I think. I can send them out here. Can do whatever I like with these. So, managing the estate. You need a noble to take care of things. Noble, noble, and the others are slaves. So I have either Maggie or myself to go there. And here I want wisdom and sociability. Wisdom, she has 2 wisdom. Wisdom and sociability, I got 4 points in total, so that's higher, so probably I should do this. Slender. Frequent appearances in the palace are necessary. Missing a friend only loses some benefits, but missing an enemy means not knowing what they plan to say to the Sultan. You can decide whether to send someone to palace based on the amount of support and oppose in the court. Support and oppose come from randomly attending ministers and consorts, so try to get along with people. 3 pieces of slender will trigger the Sultan's cruel mission. Okay, so we can end the game by this. Visiting the palace can give you some intelligence. When the Sultan gets bored, the audience will temporarily stop giving you a chance to rest. So, these cannot go, I could just send Maggie there. And this is for... not much. So we need opposition and support. But managing the estate? No, there I was better, right? Anyone who can assist? Wisdom and sociability. Wisdom 1. Wisdom 1. Wisdom 2. So Inal it is. Wait. Anyone who can assist. Yes. So we're here. Bookstore business. Wisdom and sociability. Okay. I just sent Aziz. Audience with a Sultan. Maggie has to do. And news in the bathhouse. Must be a noble. I don't have a noble anymore left. Can I send Zephyr along? No, this was... End the day. Frequent. Okay, that's the palace. The nobles bicker like street ruffians scrambling for food before their master. This is exactly what the Sultan wants to see. Palace intrigues have made the Sultan somewhat wary. Okay, so we can get this fatigue level up by attending. Sending someone there has at least one benefit. You can receive useful intelligence in real time. So we got a secret card or what? Okay, now we're in the bookstore. Excellent bookstores never turn away friends who just want to look without buying. The book in your hand piques the other's interest. Okay, I need at least 2 success to have a chance to pique the interest. If we are both nobles, the difficulty decreased by 1. Yeah, we have just not sent a noble there. So we have 1 die available, so yeah. That's not enough. But your poor communication skills prevented a deeper exchange with them. In the past, bookstores used to be places of escape, filled with stories and fiction. Now you are at the center of a story, seeing only metaphors and satire in every page, reminding you of the absurdity and lack of compassion in reality. People are still willing to come under your roof and share words, promises and opportunities. Nodding, passing messages, shaking hands. The nobles can earn money without laboring. So I have 6 dice available. I got a 4. What does this mean? The sound of gold coins clashing makes you smile, but then you start to worry how long this kind of life will last. You spend more and more time gazing at and caressing the Sultan card. During these moments, the house seems completely empty. You wander through the corridors, search the study, and rummage through the kitchen. Everything you need is still there, but everyone is gone. Only your wife occasionally breaks the silence, reminding you that outside the world is still relevant to you. Flyer, we have the best girls here. Welcome to have fun, House of Delights. Visiting Norfolk has appeared. On your way to the court, you ran into Norfolk. This difficult fellow is always opposed you. His colleagues, and sometimes even the Sultan, you are prepared to deal with his usual sarcasm. But he didn't say a word. He just looked at you for a while with a meaningful look in his eyes. Did he have something he wanted to say to you? On the way home, you kept thinking about that look. Maybe you should find a chance to meet him. What's this? I'm thinking, okay, so this is like... So I don't draw a new Sultan card, I just draw it after 7 days. Okay. House of Delights. Sharma enjoys almost noble-like treatment. On many occasions, she has many dignified, generous patrons who also respect her. Okay. So I need reading material to meet Nafal. So I have to get to the bookstore business. I could, for example, with Maggie, I could get a gold coin. And this way I might get a book. I have to manage still the estate. Secret. Okay, with secret we can increase rolls, so we could. No. No. Charisma and physique. Charisma physique could be these, but I don't know why I can't send Aziz in. Maybe I need a higher tire. No, here we needed I think I already sent her off, right? So I can't change this anymore. I don't have a noble follower. So yeah, then that's it. Slender grows by Sultan's ear about your misdeeds, your disrespect. If there were even one person to speak for you, it would have been difficult for such weeds to take root. But unfortunately there wasn't. Palace and tweaks have made the Sultan somewhat wary. Okay, we don't have to go there, but we get the Slender card. Being far from the center of the whirlpool of power often makes it easier to be drawn into the abyss. Okay, so we should go there. So we are back in the bookstore. And we're buying books. And it's much easier than reading them. That's true. That's true. I'm sure. I know some people buying books, pretty books especially, and don't read them. But I guess the same is true with games or board games in my case especially, that I have some pretty board games and I'm just waiting for them to play. And board games are for me a little bit worse because there's this physical reminder always present in my shelf. In Steam it's just like, yeah, somewhere down in the game list, non-installed, often. I will come to them later. Okay, I got the Book of the Desert. Let's see what it is. And the book in your hands piques the other's interest. I have 2 available and I need at least 2. But I got a book for Naval, so that's fine. So, Zamir supports me now a little bit better. Taste and wisdom, morality and ability have nothing to do with each other, but most people rely on taste to choose their friend. In the past, bookstores used to be places of escape filled with stories and fiction. Now you are at the center of a story, seeing only metaphors and satire in every page, reminding of absurdity and lack of compassion in reality. Okay, we are managing the estates. We got 5 available dice. a 3. And we get 5 money. So nothing new happened, but I can now go myself. I have a Book of the Desert and I can meet Nafal. Nafal's front gate is tightly closed, clearly not intending to entertain any unwelcome guests. He certainly doesn't welcome you, and under normal circumstances, you wouldn't even think of visiting this enemy of yours. But you can't forget his meaningful glance. Nafal certainly isn't afraid. No, wait. Is he not afraid? Is he not afraid you'll kill him? This annoying fellow has embarrassed you in public many times. Has he forgotten that you can now legally kill him? Yes, I can kill him now. You can't help but think, as long as you draw a bloodshed card that would acquit you and prepare some henchmen. You can bring a little gift when visiting, wait until he lets his guard down, then strike a fatal blow. Or even if you don't kill him, you can force him to explain what that glance of his meant. Okay, we got silver quality, so this should be enough. Nafal seemed to have expected your arrival, but he was a bit surprised by the gift you brought. He paused for a moment before taking Book of the Desert and then suggested going to a quiet place to talk as he had something to say to you. Private meeting. Okay, so we could use him for a card here, but instead we can just like the extravagance card cannot be placed here, right? So we have a private meeting. Could we send? No, Maggie cannot be sent here. We need Maggie especially to take care of the estate. And Ina shall help her. And we just purchase another book. No, the probability for 2 is still too low. I just go with this. Okay, end day. And at some point we need the extravagance. Frequent appearances and penance are necessary. Missing a friend only loses some. Okay. We know about this. Nafal takes you to a secluded, deserted forest, as if he has something he wants to say to you. Nafal stood under the shadow of the dotted palm tree for a while before he spoke. I have heard about your situation. This is a disaster, he said in almost a sigh. Everyone will be dragged into a whirlpool of fear and suspicion. Living lives worse than death. Especially you, Flauschie. You will do unimaginable things to survive. You will kill your loved ones, lose your wealth, trample on distant lands, and betray your wife. But after the game is over, what will you get? The title of Vizier? We both know the Sultan doesn't need wise ministers. He stepped closer and lowered his voice. Do you want to end this game ahead of time? Do you have a way? You asked involuntarily. As long as the source of the disaster is dealt with. Are you talking about the Sultan? Wait, do you mean regicide? Faced with such bluntly spoken words, Nafal looked at you calmly and honestly. nodding slowly. It's not easy, but it's the only way to free this land from the Sultan's rule. You were silent for a long time before you asked, how do you plan to do it? It's not I, it's we, or even you. Only you have the hope of accomplishing this with the power granted unto you by the Sultan, Nafal said. We need an army, we need someone to open the city gates for us, and the Sultan has a strong magic ring. We must seize it to have any hope. He detailed the regicide plan to you, looking serious and determined as if he had thought it over millions of times in his mind. You suddenly remember many years ago when you first saw Nafal, the palace. He was a cynical young man, clashing countless times without knowing when to stop. Gradually, Nafal's family became more and more neglected, and no one wanted to associate with him anymore. You always heard your colleagues complaining about him and ridiculing him at banquets, and later they stopped saying anything at all. No one could change the Sultan and his rule, and with his opposing voice gone, the palace settled into a uniform, frightening and unspoken silence. You don't know when he completely lost hope with the Sultan, or when he started brewing his nearly impossible plan. But suddenly you understood the look in his eyes a few days ago. Hidden within it was hope. Hope. But why do you dare to tell me all this? Aren't you afraid I'll report you to the Sultan? You had the chance, yet you didn't use those cards on me, did you? Actually, I had no card. Nafal smiled. I was just betting that you haven't completely submitted to this game yet. So you delved deeper into the relevant details. When the moon climbed up the tree, Nafal bid you farewell, with a kind of apology. I'm sorry. To avoid the Sultan's suspicion, I can't help you openly. When you need me, send me a message, and we will meet here again. You nodded to show your understanding. Thus, under the moonlit night, a secret pact was signed when your hands clasped together. Perhaps it is from this night that the path of destiny begins to turn to another ending. Okay, and now we get a book. So we got paperwork. We can't win. A noble stopped you, hoping you could tell him the tire of himself and his arch-enemy. You recalled his name and made a judgment, silently in your heart. He was just a bronze-tired young man, and his arch-enemy, who was about to inherit the family property, would soon reach Silver Tire. Your arch-enemy is Silver Tire as for you. We are being honest, you are Bronze Tire. You honestly told him he was a Bronze Tire. Am I not as good as him? The young man muttered in frustration. You then encouraged him, telling him that with hard work he could also rise to Silver Tire. The young man shook his head, unsure if he believed you, but gave you some money as a thanks. Just the one. 2 coin. Market news. The commercial street grandly opens, offering a wide variety of products with excellent quality and low prices. Okay, we have how many days left? 4. So we could use the extravagance card. And we need the 8 coins. And 2 can go there. Only person for physical joy and companionship of double person is... What does double person mean there? Yeah, we just tried. I mean, we still have to manage the estate. Can we just let one take care and we go with Maggie to the Sultan? I think maybe a secret with us. And yeah, we can just get another book. Okay, let's try it. I don't know, I feel a little bit like in 80 days around the world a little bit like this narrative, and I make always decisions and this kind of like, yeah, what to manage. Although I must say I like the setting of in 80 days around the world a little bit more, but that's just because, I mean, in 80 days around the world is fabulous. But this is like also super creative, and yeah, I think I can see people being intrigued by this and play this actually, although it's pretty niche. Okay, House of Delights. We have done our Sultan's card, our first. The city brothel, said to have a history older than the city walls and palace. Regardless, it's a good palace to spend Sultan cards, because no matter how playful and praised they are just playthings indulged in for money. After spending a considerable amount, you were lucky enough to enter Miss Jaila's secret chamber, devoid of sight and freedom by silver chains and a horse leather mask. Then, in the prolonged darkness, her breath, words, and touch guided you upward. Never before had you lingered so long near the peak, growling, whimpering, begging, and your surging desire made you the most humble being in the world, until she let release you. This game is so weird. Then in the prolonged darkness, her breath, words, and touch guided you upward. Oh no, it's weird. So we have 5 available. I need to have 2 to success to have a chance for passion to spark. Wife's repulsion, so the wife didn't agree. And we even failed. This is just a transaction, but it might spark a passion. Didn't went well. So we just come with a Sultan. I got tactics. I got influence for the... I sent a secret, I think. So what to do with the influence? Okay, we got 47 elegant poses. Yeah, I mean, we lose this. Managing the estate, just 2 available. Great. No gold coin. So, what I wonder now, can I now wait 2 more days until the next Sultan's card come? A playboy who spends his day at House of Delights hears about your predicament from his lover and, wanting to alleviate his boredom, comes to find you. Event: an interesting incident has appeared. No, I have to get the next card, so it's also like speedrunning probably would be a normal extravagance card. Beggar at the bookstore entrance. Giving a book to the beggar. Yeah, we have this. ragged girl. Yeah. Strictly speaking, she was not begging. She just looked at the book in your hand with a longing look. Of course, this is absurd, as it is well known that the poor are illiterate and cannot have a noble yearning for knowledge. She left as if frightened. These books might be gone for good. Hopefully she really intends to read them, though that's unlikely. Well, we see. Who should receive the playboy, myself or my wife? Nabani, the most famous playboy in the capital, knocks on your door. You have no idea what he plans to do. It can't be just to mock himself, can it? Okay. We play the Sultans game, so we should make weird decisions. Let's just send the wife. Okay, we got here so can we... No, the wife's repulsion. Why would we want to need this? Intent to rebel. No, this was not the book. Paperwork. It tells us where we could use these, but couldn't we... Didn't they say we could give these... After reading this book you gain... This way, I'm doing this. Paperwork. The reader. So I can now send any reader to get 2 sociability. So I could send Inal there, so that she takes care of managing the estate. Gold coin. Okay, the Sultan, we didn't appear. Yeah, we get some slander, that's fine. Bookstore. I don't know if we put too much work into the bookstore, to be honest. Paperwork. I learned skills in sociably, so Inal now is better in sociable skills. People are still willing to come under your roof and share words, promises and opportunities. Okay. Just 1. That's not good. Too many. At midnight, you hear a knock on your door. A young, beautiful woman dressed seductively appears, shyly asking to spend the night with you. We already got wives with repulsion, so I unveil the truth. You painstakingly avert your gaze from her face, and only then do you notice the bright moonlight illuminating both of you. Yet she casts no shadow. The woman freezes, seemingly unable to accept this, screaming as she vanishes. The next day, you discuss it with your wife, who tells you with a strange expression that recently many men seem to have died by the hands of a spirit seeking a lover. You might have done a good deed after all. The woman is freed, and men no longer endure such futile temptations. Okay, infamy is going down. That's good. Napani, the most famous playboy in the capital, knocks on your door. You have no idea what he plans to do. It can't be just to mock himself, can it? Unlike the rumored frivolity, he was courteous and elegant in every move. Of course, these were all told to you by your wife afterwards. You could see she is highly approved of a man. even needing to be cautious with her words to avoid giving you any negative impressions. But that's not important. The key point is that, as an excellent swordsman, Nabani expressed sympathy for your plight and is willing to lend a helping hand whenever you need it. So, Nabani is less opposition to us. Nabani is now a follower and support. So, and I get like good fame, which I can use. Can I put the wife expulsion in? You should pay attention to your wife, and after all, she still sticks with you in such a desperate situation. Considering what you have done, it is normal for her to have some complaints, right? And probably I should okay. Honestly, I think one could tell. I was skeptical in the beginning. Like that this game is built upon, let's say, frivolous, like this morally unacceptable stories to live like this, yeah, like the Sultan, this tyrant. But I feel there can be some, oh, there can be, I have a feeling that's actually a quite solid game. I don't know if it's the right for me. It's really text driven, but I mean, where is it? Yeah. So many things one can do, and I hope they get a good translation for this. And I mean, I liked in 80 Days Around the World, so maybe when it comes out, give it a try. But I also feel I was now quite long already in here, so maybe that's enough for a sneak peek. Like, I don't feel like that I can show anymore. I don't know if it will save the demo, probably not. So I might come back when it releases. It says it's coming out soon, so the first quarter of a year, so 2 months left. And yeah, if you haven't played the demo, it's out there on Steam. Give it a try. Maybe it vibes with you. And I think there could be lots to discover here. Really lots to discover. It has also an amazing art style, amazing sound design so far, and the gameplay has quite a potential. I liked it. And yeah, when it comes out, I will definitely consider playing this, and then not just like the demo playthrough, which doesn't get saved, maybe. Definitely moved up a few ranks of my wishlist. Although this was not difficult, as I didn't know much about it and just put it on. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed these 2 demos. Because it's now already 4 hours, because I thought like, okay, demo 1 hour, then I play like 2 hours and 3 hours, Space for the Unbound. Yeah, Space for the Unbound will be still open to play. Maybe I have to stream sometime in the week, one evening, to catch up a little bit with it. And yeah, then I can see. Thank you all for joining me. Have a nice week ahead, and I still have some sunny weather outside, so maybe I even have a second nice walk now. Ciao, ciao. Have a nice day.